Well, hello, dear prayer partners and friends. This is Pastor Wolfgang coming to you from Christ the King Lutheran Church here in Cary, North Carolina. And I'd have to say, it's been quite a while since I made one of these prayer partner videos because things have just been insanely busy and we've been working really hard, all of us here on the staff as part of the team. People sometimes think that somehow the church is closed because we are not worshiping in the building, but nothing could be further from the truth. All of our worship services are online Sunday mornings on our YouTube channel. There's a traditional one and there's a contemporary worship service, and it actually turns out that doing the services in this way, it's actually a lot of work. And thank God we have wonderful volunteers who have stepped up. We have great tech volunteers who help us with the recording and the cameras and the video and putting it all online and live streaming it. We have, of course, musicians, both singers and organists in the traditional services, the bands. We have more than one in the contemporary one, and everybody is working so hard to continue to provide a meaningful worship opportunity that keeps us connected even at a time when we cannot meet in person. And then of course all the meetings are on Zoom now, most of them. There's small groups that are beginning to meet again in the building, and even that is more work. Right now we can have up to 25 people in a meeting. That's the new guidelines from the state that we are voluntarily adhering to. But they have to be spaced out, 6 feet apart. They have to be wearing masks. They have to be sanitizing their hands. And then once the meeting's done, everything needs to be sanitized and wiped down. And so all that is a lot of work too, to schedule groups, including community groups, but also some of our own committees and teams and boards as they begin to meet again here in the building. And then thirdly, we've been trying to create a little bit of normalcy even in the face of this coronavirus pandemic by finding new and creative ways to do events that before we would have done in person here at Christ the King on campus. My favorite example is Rally Day that we had early in September. Rally Day is the day when we begin Sunday school for the fall, which is all on live stream and Zoom this fall, of course. It's the beginning of our fall programming. And typically we have a huge big picnic that day, 200-300 people out there doing barbecue on the lawn, and of course couldn't do that. So instead of that, we had a drive-through circus. People came in their cars, people stayed in their cars to be safe, and they kind of wound their way through our parking lot. And along the way, there were, 15 or 20 different acts and activities and things to look at. There was a guy that was a fire eater, and there was a snake person that was doing something with a snake. I didn't actually look too closely at that. There were jugglers, and there was a pony, and at least a picture of an elephant, life-size picture of an elephant. And you did that, and you wound your way around. There was a noisy offering where the kids could drop change into this big tube that came down the hill from the one part of the upper parking lot down to the lower parking lot, raising money for Rise Against Hunger. So it was a wonderful day. And then at the very end of that, as you wound your way through, then you got your barbecue to go. You got a box, and you could take that home with you and have a picnic with your family, or you could stay here on the lawn and be with your family that way too. So creative ways to do new things, or maybe I should say to do old things in a new creative way. And it turns out that is just so much work. But I don't want to apologize. We are having a good time. I think that as a church, we've been pivoting from everything in person to mostly online. We've been pivoting from lots of people interacting and hugging and shaking hands and frankly, spreading germs around. We've pivoting from that to wearing masks and keeping distance and sanitizing our hands 27 times a day and all that. And I think we've done well. And I give thanks to God for all the staff and for the volunteers and for our members who have helped us do this. The drive-through circus, for example, was a smashing success. We thought we'd get maybe 50 cars and maybe take half an hour. Well, we got well over 100 cars. We estimate we probably had about 250 people, counting the performers and everybody who was here for the setup. And it took well over an hour and a half for all of these cars to kind of wind their way through the circus. Well, that's just a little glimpse, a little taste of what's been happening. And of course, now we are very fast coming up on our celebration weekend. October 17 and 18 is the weekend each year when we come together, this time virtually, on YouTube, and we celebrate all the ministry that we do as a church. That's why it's called Celebration Weekend. And we do two things. One is, on Sunday the 18th, we are going to ask our members to make an estimate of their giving, their tithe, and their offering for next year. So that's kind of like our Pledge Sunday, and we are inviting members to prayerfully consider how they can support all the mission and ministry that goes out of this place. And then the second thing we do on Celebration Weekend, we always have some kind of a service project, just to make the point that stewardship and giving isn't just about us. It's not just about the needs of the church, but it really is about the needs of the world. And so we always want to do something for somebody else outside of ourselves. And this year, that is the Rise Against Hunger project. That will happen the day before, on Saturday, October the 16th. Zach Richardson, a young man who is one of our confirmation students, is spearheading that as his confirmation project. And he's been doing a great job publicizing this and having people sign up. What it is, in 3 shifts, we are going to go to the Rise Against Hunger warehouse in Raleigh, and there we're going to be packing probably up to 15,000 meals for hungry people across the world. You know, putting them in bags, the rice and all the other stuff that goes in there. We've done that for a number of years. We typically did it here, but because of the physical distancing and all the cleaning in between the shifts, it's going to happen at the Rise Against Hunger warehouse. So we're excited about that. October 17, Rise Against Hunger. October 18, Pledge Sunday. And for the Pledge Sunday, we have a special guest preacher, old friend of mine, Pastor Phil Hirsch, who is now the executive director of the domestic mission unit for the ELCA, the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, our parent denomination. And he'll be preaching for us via video to tell us what the ELCA is doing and what we are helping to support doing. When we take some of the tithe and offerings that you give to Christ the King, and a tithe of that goes to our North Carolina Synod and to our ELCA, and then helps to fund mission work around the country and around the world. And so Phil will be able to talk about that a lot more. So don't miss it. Please join us in person for the food packing, and online on live stream on YouTube on the 18th at 8:30 or 11. We'll also be receiving new members. So we are really looking forward to that. And we're looking forward to connecting to you once again. I hope you're hanging in there in the middle of these crazy, crazy times. Take a little bit of time for yourself. Make sure you get enough sleep and enough time to yourself. And call us if you need us. We are here for you. God bless you always. Take care.